Hi, my name's Zoe from Oodles of Craft, and today we're going to make very simple little corner bookmarks. So the idea is when you've got your book and you want to save the page you're on, I don't know about you, but I've got lots of craft books, you just simply slide it over the top and close your book over. Perfect for presents, but also for yourself. Let's see how you get on. For today's project of how to make a corner bookmark, we are going to need some craft scissors and a pen and a ruler to make our pattern. We're also going to need some paper. So I'm using pattern paper today, which has lots of squares on it, but you could use plain paper or greaseproof paper. I have got some fabric shears, a thread to coordinate with my fabrics because you will see the stitching, some fabric snips, thread snips to cut my threads, pins. I always cut my threads straight into a bowl, and then I also today need an iron and an ironing board. Job number one is to make your pattern piece. It's going to be 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. So to do that, I can either count the squares on my sheet of paper, or if I didn't have the squares, I would rest my zero of my ruler on the edge and I would put a dot at 10 centimeters. I would then do it a bit lower down, and I would do it lower down again. I would then join those dots together and I would know that that line was straight 10 centimeters long. I also need to make sure that it's 10 centimeters from there to there. So I'll put my zero on the edge of the paper, mark a dot, and do another one. Join those dots together, and there is my pattern piece, 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. So I'm going to cut that out using my craft scissors. And that's your pattern piece for today. I always label my pattern pieces, so just to remind you, that was 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, and this is a bookmark, and I need to cut 3. To cut the fabric pieces out, we are going to use our fabric scissors. I'll just move those to the side at the moment. We'll need our pins, we need our pattern piece and our fabrics. So I am going to cut 2 from this funky fabric. You could cut 3. So this is a great project for using up scraps. So you might find, oh perfect, that you've got a scrap that's actually big enough. So I think I'm going to cut 2 at the same time. So I'm just going to pin this pattern piece in place. So underneath here I've got 2 layers of fabric. I'm going to cut 2 of them at the same time. And then I'm going to use my fabric shears. So I'm going to put the base of my scissors along my ironing board, and I'm going to open the scissors up wide and close them. Always cut away from yourself. So I've now got two pieces of patterned, and I'll do the same for this section. So I'm going to pop that right in the top corner. Pin this in place. Because that edge is already cut, I think just one pin to hold it in place will do it. So like I said, always cut away from you, so I'll just finish cutting that side. And then we have it. Take your pins out, and you should end up with 3 squares. So the next step is to set up our design. So I'm just going to press these down. We're going to use one of these patterned ones as a feature design. So I'm going to put this right side down. So this is the right side of the fabric, this is the wrong side of the fabric, and I'm going to fold it, give it a little finger press, wrong sides together. So keep your fingers away from the iron when you use it. But you can see that I have wrong sides hidden inside. In terms of what we need to do next, we're going to position that with all of those wrong sides matching up with a corner of what I want to see from the middle. So I've actually got the nice folded edge running diagonally. This is my open corners. And then this piece of fabric, the final one, is going to go right side down over the top. Okay, so right side down into position. The next stage is to pin these down. So I'm going to go for my small pins. I'm putting one pin in the top through all those layers. I'm going to put one pin through that side, one pin at the bottom. So at the moment, remember, my triangle, my hidden triangle is this side. On this blank side, I need to leave a gap, and I would say leave it about 2 or 3 fingers wide. So to tell me where to leave that gap, I'm going to put one pin there, and then take another small pin and pop it there. So when we sew, we're going to start here. We're going to sew to the corner, sew to this corner, sew to this corner, sew to this corner, and then stop at the pin. Okay, we're not sewing in that gap. So here, 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 and stop. So let's sew around the edge of our bookmark. So here is our bookmark with the 3 pins here, but this is the pin where we're leaving a gap. So we're going to start sewing just this section here. So I'm going to position that into my machine. Once I'm there, I can take that pin out. So I'm going to lower my presser foot to trap the fabric. Now I would like the edge of my fabric in line with my sewing foot today. I'm going to have my little smiley face, which is magnetic, and I'm going to pop that in there. So I'm just going to go forward 3, then backward 3. So for me, I've got this button here, but you might have a lever. Go back for 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to come forward to the edge. When I'm close to the edge, what I need to do is lower my needle using my hand wheel. I'm going to lift and spin the fabric. Now this time I'm going all the way down to this corner. When I get close to the corner, I need to be about ½ centimetre away. I'm going to stop. I'm going to put my needle down by winding my wheel. I'm going to lift, spin, and do the next section. And because my little smiley face is in the way, I'm going to move that pin. It's only small, so it should stay together. Notice my fingers are nowhere near the machine as I sew. When I get close, wind the wheel towards you, lift and spin. I can see here, this is my pin, which is where I'm going to stop. So, not got far to go when I turn the corner this time. So when I get close, I'm low on my needle, lift, spin. Now I'm going to leave this out the way just because that pin is there and that's where I want to stop. So trap my fabric. I'm going to get close to that pin, but I don't want the needle to go through the pin. I'm going to stop there and slide that pin out. And then I'm going to go backwards a few stitches to secure these stitches in place. I'm going to lift, pull my design out of the machine, cut my loose threads over here. And like I said, put those threads in my little thread pot. So you can see that at those corners I've left the same distance as I've gone round. And then at the top we still have a gap. Once you've sewn that up, you're going to get rid of the excess bulk at the corners. So to do that, you just snip your corners without going too close to your stitches. And then once you've done that, you find your gap and you turn the whole bookmark through in on itself. So I'm going to stick my finger through the hole and go right into these corners. So one corner up here, another corner over here. little massage to make those corners as pointy as they could be. You could put a pencil in there to get them to stick out, and then depending on your design you could either have it that way with the contrasting fabric, or you could flip it the other way and have a funky design like that. So I'm going to leave it the way it was for now. What we need to do is give this a good press. But what we need to do is make sure that these seam allowances are tucked in nicely. And then the final job will be to sew around the four edges completely, therefore sealing up that hole. So over at the machine, I'm going to make sure my threads are underneath the presser foot and out the back. I'm going to start where there are 2 layers rather than the 3. So I'm going to go about here. Now this time I'm doing a very narrow seam allowance. So I'm not going to do a back stitch because I'm going to start where I finished. So get close to the edge, needle down, lift and spin. Needle down, lift, spin, track the fabric. I won't press my foot down as hard this time. Needle down, lift, spin, track it. Down, lift, spin, just holding those threads out to the side. Now this time, when I go back over where I started, and do a few reverse stitches, and we are done. Cut all my loose threads off. There's 2 at the front and 2 at the back, and there you have it, one corner bookmark. So how did you get on? They're perfect scrap busters, so any leftover fabric that you have can probably be made into a corner bookmark. Like I said before, they're perfect for presents at this time of year, but also they're perfect for all those designs that you want to make in different craft books and sewing magazines. Tag me with your makes at Oodles of Craft on Facebook or Instagram so I can see how well you did.